Good morning. Happy New Year. Welcome to another edition of the Mailtime Podcast. Today, I want to go over an article from the Times of Israel, which is highlighting and investigating some of the procedural issues in the IDF that apparently are news, but have been out in the open for pretty much the entire war. So kudos to Herzi Halevi and the IDF for actually doing something about it now, but let's dive in and see what they're actually talking about. After septuagenarian's death in Lebanon, IDF Probe finds war discipline increasingly lax. A team of experts says fatigue has eroded standards in combat zones, making recommendations for reestablishing order. A team of experts probing discipline across the military amid the war in Gaza and Lebanon found that standards have become increasingly relaxed as the fighting has gone on, the Israel Defense Forces said on Tuesday. The team was appointed on November 21st by IDF Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi following an incident in which a 71-year-old Israeli civilian was killed along with a soldier during a gun battle with Hezbollah operatives after entering southern Lebanon accompanied by a senior officer but without the required army approvals. The team of 11 officers, mostly reservists, led by Major General Reserve Mati Baruch, was tasked with, quote, formulating a detailed situational picture regarding the maintenance of operational discipline, the rules of conduct, and norms in Army units on the northern and southern fronts, though not in the West Bank, Judea and Samaria. The team did not examine cases of suspected war crimes, which are probed by the military police and the general staff, fact-finding assessment mechanism, an independent military body responsible for investigating unusual incidents amid the war. Quote, the team found that due to operational fatigue of the various units, which have been in combat for over a year and 3 months, there was a growing relaxation of discipline and safety measures across various units, which manifested in the incorrect use of weaponry and led to operational accidents that could have been prevented, the military said. Interesting. I want to know how these were explained days, weeks, months into the war, and not just after now 15 months. There were issues going on from the start, so interesting that that's what the highlight is here. Regarding the unauthorized entry of civilians into combat zones, the team said that this was not a common phenomenon, finding only a few incidents. I don't know who this team is speaking to, but this is widely known and done in Gaza and in a few other areas. The concept this is rarely done is crazy. There's even a rumor on the street that someone paid $180,000 to enter Gaza to go on a tour. There's videos of people going around. There's Instagram influencers that went into Gaza. There's all sorts of different non-combatant people that went into Gaza for absolutely no reason. I'm not sure why this is such a surprise or why the army came out that it was only a few incidents. Among the subjects of the probe were the entry of the late Israeli researcher Zev Ehrlich into Lebanon in November, an incident in which he and Sergeant Gur Kahadi were killed and which is still under investigation. The entry of dismissed reservist Rabbi Tzvi Kasteiner into Gaza in September, and the entry of an unnamed donor into the Gaza Strip on an unspecified date. Now again, the army just needs to be honest about what's going on and about the lack of discipline and the ways in which there were tons of crazy things going on. This is just not a secret. I don't know why you need a team of experts. All you need to do is just look on social media. No officers have been reprimanded or faced punishment for these incidents as of yet. The team was also unable to confirm claims that settler leader Daniela Weiss had entered the Gaza Strip. Weiss is claimed to have entered Gaza several times, although the IDF said it has investigated the claims extensively, but has not yet found proof of this. Regarding the operational security, the team found that, quote, as the campaign continued, there was a decrease in strictness on the issue, and there were even cases where cellular devices were openly used in combat zones. Is that a joke? I mean, you don't need a team of experts. Again, just look at social media. There have been soldiers posting this stuff all the time. And the concept that this is somehow surprising is offensive. There was 2 soldiers that were killed on the phone with their families at home, one of whom was in Sadir in Nachal. So how can we say that we're surprised about these incidents? And how come this investigation wasn't commenced well before that? Because the first incident happened before November. So there were soldiers who were killed on the phone with their parents, not wearing equipment, and the IDF did not open an investigation into quote-unquote a lack of discipline. Only after this incident was there an investigation opened. So to me, that's mind-boggling because this has been openly happening, and there's soldiers that are posting stupid things, and it's embarrassing, and it's wrong. Again, I've never been in war. If soldiers need to do some stupid things to rally the troops or to have a moment of levity, maybe, but it's completely crazy that this is quote unquote surprising when it's all been out on social media. The anti-Israel people have certainly capitalized on it, and this has been going on for over a year now. So it's disingenuous to say this is only a post-November issue. Well, it says, quote, "This is reflected in the distribution of videos on social media, indicating the exact location of the units that operated there and the distribution of videos from the battlefield that undermine international legitimacy," the military said. Again, that's accurate. And even if a soldier is going to do something, you don't necessarily need to post it on your Instagram right away or on your Facebook or your WhatsApp status. Regarding the IDF's rules of appearance and dress code, the team found that, quote, "During the fighting, a phenomenon of widespread noncompliance developed in all areas, as well as the wearing of unregulated and unsupervised non-military patches, specifically the Mashiach patch." Again, this is a way of rallying troops and having fun and bringing joy to soldiers, not intending to be non-compliant. But the other question is, a lot of the Miluimnikim who don't have tactical uniforms, how are they even able to wear a patch? And that's because they're getting donations. So it's completely just disingenuous to say that this phenomenon developed after 14 or 15 months. From day one, there was not enough equipment in the IDF. So it's wild that people would claim that this is now developing as this goes on. Widespread noncompliance existed from day one, when people had to go and ask their friends who run nursing homes to get tourniquets for them, or you had to beg for donations, and it's still going on. So the idea that this is somehow developed is not honest and does not tell the truth about the seriousness of the situation that was facing the soldiers and the lack of equipment. The team also investigated several other subjects, including donations received by units and the use of weaponry or other equipment that was not approved for use in the military. Again, the military has approved helmets from 1979 that are ballistically unsound, but they were objecting to some ceramic plates and helmets that have proper ballistic tests and were manufactured in 2023, 2024. So there's a huge Pandora's box that needs to be opened up, and it's not as simple as just saying approved or not approved. The Army, quote unquote, Tekken doesn't carry its own weight, because the Tekken's not serious when you are issuing helmets from 1979, 1980, 1981, and ceramic plates from 1997. So it just does not hold its weight. Several recommendations were made by the team, including strengthening operational standards and strengthening the foundations of military discipline, holding learning days on the subject of discipline while taking measures in cases of violation of orders, strengthening the safety during combat, and formulating precise instructions regarding appearance and clothing, more regular breaks for combat troops, and more. What about providing safe equipment? Making sure that people have helmets that are ballistically sound, ceramic plates that are ballistically sound, vests that aren't falling apart. That shouldn't be so hard, and that has to be done immediately. It should have been done a year ago. IDF Chief Halevi ordered the military to implement the findings of the investigation and across the military immediately. Halevi also ordered the establishment of a mechanism whereby each division commander, combat officers ranked with brigadier general, has a senior officer with the rank of major general as a quote coach to evaluate the discipline and safety situation in their division. And together with the commanders, they'll create a learning and improvement process. Okay, that's amazing. Can we please acknowledge that the helmet issue is real, that the plate issue is real, that the lack of night vision is real, that the lack of scopes is real? Enough of the half-truths and public projection on issues only when it's brought by the family. Because the truth of the matter is, there's a heck of a lot of other incidents that are so upsetting and so traumatic that this issue should have been dealt with a long time ago. And it's overdue. The soldiers deserve it. The state of Israel deserves it. And it's time for the leaders within the IDF to actually instill discipline and take seriously the safety of the soldiers in a more serious fashion.